Alrighty, the question of the day is how screwed am I? This is my 1974 Robalo 230 center console. I bought the boat for $1,000, put a new transom in it, and got it on the water the first year. I knew that it had water in it, I knew that it had wet stringers, but with the transom it was all good and we used it for the year. But by the end of the year I could tell it was slowing down, it was getting heavy. Here's where we're at so far. We've got the deck cut out and all of the stringers exposed and they are all wet. So we're gonna be installing brand new stringers. We're gonna be putting a brand new deck in it, brand new plastic fuel tank. And the most exciting part, we're putting twin Evinrude 175s on it, E-Techs. So let's get into today's video where we're gonna be making the new stringers and hopefully getting them glassed in. But before that, this is the biggest part I didn't wanna do. The front of this boat has two beautiful seats, I guess you'd call them. They're curved, they look nice, and I really did not wanna cut them out, but I think I'm gonna have to. So let's just do it and see how screwed I am and if I'm gonna have to fabricate new ones or if I can reuse the old ones. Alrighty, so we're gonna be cutting out this little back section. This is where the splash well originally was on the boat. So we're trying to get the transom nice and flat so we can lay the stringers directly up into that. This is the part that I really did not want to do. I love these little seats in the front and they were shaped so well for the boat. But it's okay because one, we might either put them back in, or two, I will just fabricate new ones, but it's kind of a pain cutting out. I like the oscillating tool because it cuts a precise line and it's easier and less messy than doing it with a cutoff wheel or like the hacksaw or something. But you go through those blades so quick. So we cut out that entire section. You can see there's an inner skin. That's how it actually made like the storage compartment that was waterproof. So I'm going to be cutting that out, and the reason we're doing this is because the stringers continue up. Originally I wanted to take the foam out below, but then there wouldn't have been no structure. When these boats were made, they were made kind of weak, to be honest. But, you know, with all that foam in there, it kind of holds everything together, but we're getting rid of that, so we're going to have to make it stronger. You can see how light this boat has gotten. Us moving around is literally flopping the boat. You can see the amount of foam we're pulling out. It is so heavy. All of this stuff was soaked. And I remember distinctly the first time I put this boat on the lake with the single 200 on it, I couldn't even get it to wide open because it was such a small section of the lake that I was on. And I was afraid of it. And then by the end of the year, we started off going kind of almost 40. And then it kind of started coming back and back and back. And this boat sat outside all year. It got water in it. And where the deck hatch that was covering the fuel tank was, it was never sealed up. So water was getting in here in all this foam. And there's no drainage channels. There's none of that because the boat's designed to not have water in it. So it was just getting wet. But here, this is where the party really starts, trying to get the oscillating tool as close to the deck as possible to cut the stringers out. And you can see that wood's just gone. This has been drying out for probably a week without having any water on it, so the wood looks better, but it's all crumbly. You can tell that the only thing holding the boat together was foam. And I took it out in some rough stuff up in Door County on Lake Michigan. We got out there. All right, everybody, so this is what the boat's looking like. A little bit scary. So as you can see, we got straight to it. Didn't want to bore you too much, but we got the whole front deck cut out. All of the foam's cut out, and our outside stringers are removed. We left the glass in there because our new stringers were gonna sit up against the glass, and that's gonna just hold it in place while we glass the outside, and then we'll come back and get rid of the inside. But she's almost clear. We have this forward stringer and we got some more cleaning up to do, but this is kind of what she's looking like. So from the bow, when you look down on it, we're gonna be raising the deck height. Grant over here bought the wrong laser this morning. I got the wrong laser. The one that I got had 3 points. I don't know what you would use that for, but the kind of laser that I need has the actual lines. And what we're gonna do is put the laser in the back of the boat and we're gonna shoot it down the boat and we're gonna mark. We're gonna be raising the deck. There's a guy in the Robalo Facebook group that recommended to me, you're putting more weight in the back. This boat's gonna sit way out of the water from where it was because all of the foam's out and all of the foam was soaked. That dumpster's probably 800 pounds right now. All of that foam was soaked, so with all of that out, the boat's gonna come up. We're gonna be moving the fuel tank forward because I'm gonna have twins in the back. It's gonna be sitting a little lower back there. So because of that, we're gonna raise the deck up 2 inches in the front, 1.5 inches in the back. And what that's gonna allow us to do is raise the scup. So that way, this deck's gonna be fully sealed. All the water that comes in here is just gonna be flushed out the back of the boat. So right now, we're gonna take our lunch. We're gonna run to Harbor Freight and we're gonna be grabbing more oscillating saw blades because those, God, that pissed me off. They're 50 bucks for 5 of them. They suck. Actually, those were 34. We're gonna grab that, and we're gonna grab the laser level. When we come back, we're gonna be ready to kind of get the laser set up, mark out where the deck's gonna be, and we're gonna be able to start bringing in the wood. We're gonna set the full sheet of plywood in here, and we're gonna put the laser across it. We're gonna mark where the top of it is, cut it out, put it in, and we'll use that piece to template for the second one. It's gonna be 2 pieces of 1/2-inch ply next to each other, glassed together, and then they're gonna be glassed up in the boat. So already our stringers are gonna be thicker than they were, and they're gonna be much stronger because they're gonna be fully sealed. So right now it's about noon. We spent the morning doing that. I didn't really get you guys an update, but we just went straight to work. Now is where the actual action is gonna happen. So my goal for the day is if we can get the stringers at least cut out and set in the boat, I want to begin glassing in the back. If I can get to that, I will be extremely happy. We got the full weekend to work on it, so my trusty sidekick is being very useful today. Right now, what my plan is, we're going to work on this boat today and tomorrow, and then Sunday, I want to start pulling the power head on one of my 175s, because I think that'll be a really good video that you guys will enjoy, and it might help a lot of people, because there's not a lot on E-Tex. So, let's run to Harbor Freight, and let's eat some food. Alrighty, so here you can see we have the lasers set up. This was a little bit difficult because the boat's so unstable right now. There's our new laser sitting on the Joby. The boat's so unstable right now that every time I moved, it was kind of moving the line of the laser. But this is where the deck is going to sit. So this should be technically the base of the deck. All right, everybody, so we've got the laser in, and we're trying to be careful not to move the boat. You can see following up the side, over and down. This is lining up with our marks, so that's where we're going to be raising the deck to. So it's going to come up in the back, but it's going to come up a decent amount in the front. In our transom, it's going to be, the deck's going to sit to here, but there's going to be a little splash well down in here. So what we did real quick is we put a sheet of plywood in and we marked it out. We got our lines here where the laser was. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the average of these, put a level across them, mark it, cut it, and if it all fits good and we're happy with it, we'll do another one of the exact same, and then we'll squeeze them together and we might start glassing. The only thing is I have a template for the transom, so it's gonna give me this angle so it fits right up against the transom. So we're gonna get this cut out, put in the boat, and see what she's looking like. All right, so you guys didn't see me putting that in, but we put the stringer in. Here it is. I took the laser level back out because we need to clean all the channels and I got to do some grinding. So what we're going to do now, with the laser level in, the stringer was perfect. It's sitting right at the right height. On the transom back here, you can see where the stringer comes in, this will be ground down so it'll sit in a little further. Our old deck was probably 1.5 inches below. So the new deck is 1.5 inches up back, which is what I wanted. And then the front up there, it's gonna be about 2 inches up. That's gonna help our drainage, and we're gonna have some extra weight back here, but we're also gonna be putting the fuel tank up front. So right now what we're gonna do, I'm probably not gonna time lapse this, but we're gonna literally get the rest of the wood out, grind whatever needs to be ground, and then vacuum everything. So there's nothing in those little channels. From what I think, we have enough wood on the 2 sheets of plywood that I bought this morning to do all the stringers. So if we get those cut out completely, I mean, we could damn near start glassing, and that's it for the vertical stringers, because there's only the 2. The front one was there for support because the old stringers were so short that as they got to the bow, they kept getting thinner and thinner to where they're almost like 1 inch at the end. We don't really need it. I'm gonna put it in, but it'll be shorter, and then we'll have our bulkheads to do. But I'm gonna glass the bulkheads in after the stringers because I care more about having one solid stringer. So for now, let's hop in, let's get it clean, and let's keep moving. What time we got? What time we got? Time check. We got in here at like 9 this morning. It's 1:38 right now, so we're making good progress, but we did have to make an extra trip to Harbor Freight. So let's get it on. Do not mind the hair. Let's point that the other way. All right, so I went through, I ground up the inside, or the outside, little bit of glass that was left there from cutting it, all the way up on both sides. This stringer's fitting better, but there's a little knob down there at the bottom that I need to cut out just so it'll fit all the way in. What we're gonna do, I think we're gonna get the second one of these. We'll set the laser back up, get the second one of these put in. We're gonna screw them together and maybe even screw them to this plate to hold them up. And then we're pretty much good to start glassing. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. I think we're gonna mark all the pieces, get them cut, and then put them in and probably glass for a little bit. Alrighty, so there's our second piece. What you'll notice is at the end, if you can see that, we cut off 7 inches of it. The outside stringer on the next one is going to be the full 8-foot length, but they're gonna be overlapping like that, stacked that way, glass up in between them, and it's not just a butt splice. They're offset a little bit, so we'll get a little more structure out of it. But this is as thick as it's gonna be. It's gonna be a 1/2-inch stringer. So just like that, we'll bevel the outsides, glass them together and glass them up. And that'll make a strong stringer. So for now, I'm kind of trying to get away from as many time lapses. I might just go B-roll in between. But we're gonna do the starboard side, get those cut out, and pretty much get them set up where we want them. I'm gonna cut out that forward bulkhead, and I'm gonna try and bend this because this isn't level. So I'm gonna try and bend it out just a little bit. We'll screw them together, and then we'll start laying up some glass. It's go time, baby. So I'm really happy with this. You can see the laser level isn't hitting this. You can see where it's hitting my finger down there. So we got that dead on. So our new deck height is gonna be where the laser level is, and the new floor is just gonna sit directly on top of this. So it should be pretty minty. Let's keep cutting some wood. All right, everybody, so we've got the stringers in, and I just put the sheet on top just to see what it would look like. But you can see here, this is gonna be our new deck height. So it's gonna be close in the back. We're obviously gonna have a little splash well down here, but it's gonna be maybe like 10 inches off the back of the transom. But very happy with how the laser level worked out. You can see we're above the height of the deck before, if I go down there. So in terms of scuppers, it's gonna be out of the water some more. We're gonna have some better drainage because we angled it back. So that's pretty much all we're gonna do today. We gave it a full day. The grinding kind of sucked, but now that that's over with, we're into the fun stuff, which is putting it back together. So I wanted to get some glass on it today, which I guess we probably could have. It's still kind of early. It's 3:24, but I'm beat, he's beat, we're gonna go home. And in the next video, you guys are gonna see a lot of fiberglass going down. So pretty much we're gonna glass the stringers in. We're probably gonna cut out the front ones first, glass in the rear stringers, glass in the front ones. And once those are fully glassed in, all we have to do is put the rigging tube in before we can put the deck on. So that's where I'm gonna leave you guys today. Hopefully it wasn't too boring of a video, but if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We obviously have quite a few more videos coming on this boat, and it's March now. Things are gonna start picking up, so we'll have a lot more repair videos, stuff like that. If you guys are looking for service in Wisconsin, stmarinewi.com. If you guys want any of this sweet ST Marine merch, bit.ly/bushfishing, it'll be under the merch link down below. And I'm looking forward to putting some glass up, so we'll see you guys in the next one.